All right. Hello. I'm going to pop on over here to my little Instagram, go live there. Perfect. See how that shows up. It's doing a little bit weird, but that's okay. That is all right. Go back to, you use these things. Welcome. Let's start with that. Hello. I'm Kathy Freeman, and welcome to today's in my art journal and my art studio. You get used to using these programs to be able to facilitate you and to bring it across the internet. But there are times when these programs want to be extra helpful. So they add different changes to it, and it takes a while to figure out. So this program added a change, and I am not sure exactly what it's doing, but we're going to proceed forward and just enjoy the ride, right? Let me start out by telling you that, well, let's start out with this. Woo-hoo. We've got new projects in My Art Sisters coming up. We've got a wonderful leaf that is watercolored, and that's going to be in November. We're going to be doing this little fall moon, which is a simple project, but it's very relaxing, and it's also great for practicing with your watercolors. And then this project right here, this little watercolor, this I call Autumn in the Forest. And so this was a really fun project to work on and create, and the size is perfect. So those are some of our projects coming up here in November. Now, for my art sisters that are on today, in your library is this project here. So you can open up your library, and it'll give you all the class and that to be able to create that pumpkin, decorate it. I wanted to do that because don't we all love to decorate for the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas, but that I think would be beautiful on a Thanksgiving table. Add some other fall leaves in that with it, something that represents maybe that time of the year, November. And I think you would really it would be a fun project to do. So welcome. We've got more. Go ahead and say hello. Put your name in the comments. And I don't have my other computer on here. So hopefully if you're seeing this maybe from YouTube or over in one of my other channels and that, it'll pop up here so I can say hello to you. This is what we're going to do today, though. We are going to pop on here, and I wanted to work in my art journal. And let me go ahead and downscale this. There we go. So that you have a better image of it. Hello, we've got quite a good group here so far. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. More than I've ever had. I'm glad you're here and you're showing up. I'm also putting this into my website, myartsisters.com, in the event center so that my members can easily find it there. So it is being televised in quite a few different spots. Welcome here. This project, I wanted to create something in my art journal that I can use with my creative reminders. And I'm going to watercolor using these leaves today. I'm going to go ahead and this is a mixed media, and the size that I'm using in this book is actually a 7x10. That seems to be a nice size to create things with. I'm going to use one of my large brushes and the watercolors. I went outside and I just gathered up a whole variety of different leaves in that I had either laying around or on bushes. And I'm going to just put some water down, and you know how leaves like to curl. Well, these are going to curl, so I'm not sure how this is an experiment. So I'm not sure how it's going to actually turn out, but we're going to play with it and see how it goes. We've got this here. I'm going to leave space up here at the top to go ahead and write out what I want to put in my journal. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find me on Apple or the other streaming medias, realpositivechange.com. And I talk to you a lot about writing out, creating affirmations. So you can find that episode. That's what I put out this past Friday. It is on there now. I just started that podcast and having a blast doing it. I've already started recording for this Friday. And so it's quite fun. Let's put a little bit down here and just put some down here. Now, I have not done this before. So this is a total experiment and you're coming along with me as we do it. I'm going to start with some really fun colors. Got a beautiful purple over here. I'm going to just add that to this leaf. And we're going to drop it down over the top of the leaf, just like we're painting around the side of it. Just play with the color a little bit. That moved, so I'm going to move it back so I can keep that shape. And add it a little bit over here, but added more water, so it's going to be a lot lighter. On here. All right. Part of this is going to be to let it dry. Now, because I'm doing this live and I need it to dry quickly, then I'll end up using my heat gun. A dry, you can use a hair dryer, you can use anything to get that. All right, let's add another color to this. This green right here is beautiful. I used it for the greens in that project. I'm going to put it on, let it mix. This is the type of project. Now, in My Art Sisters, I give them, projects that they can work on that creates. But when you're doing something like this, let's turn this over so it will stick down. See what happens. This is the type of project that's great for just calming your nerves, relaxing. Because you're not seeking that level of perfection that we tend to want when we're actually working on a painted project, isn't it? All right. And I hope you have out your paints and you're just coming along and having fun. Let's grab this green here, bring it in. I was always afraid of cedar trees as a child. I think it's because the seeds on them to me look like spider eggs, and I don't like. I'm a little bit not terrified, but I do not like spiders. If I see a spider and it just seems more than I can handle, I'm calling my husband, help, come help with this. And so these poor little cedar trees kind of got the right into the deal because that's what that reminded me of. Isn't it funny how our thoughts can always create something? All right. My green going. Let's grab some of this blue here. Like I said, this is a total experiment. That's why I'm doing it in this book instead of my other art journal book. But I've also found that if you just give it a chance and work with it, we're always quick to judge things, very quick. And if we'll just give it a chance, let it kind of grow and develop, you can work it into a pretty interesting composition. Okay, we're just going to go straight with water. Start creating some texture with that, letting it blend and do its thing. Some of the exercises, I've got a membership besides the thank you. I'm glad you appreciate that. I've got a membership besides the art membership for those that are wanting to work on their art skills and enjoy creating, painting, which is My Art Sisters. I've also opening up a Real Positive Change, which that membership is all about training us how to make these wonderful mind shifts, to look at things differently, not let things stress us out so much in life. And some of the exercises in there, I pull in the art, have to do with just letting the color move and flow and let it. Okay, before I go any further on that, I'm going to put a piece of deli paper in between. I don't have to worry about. I can go over the edge. I'm always speaking about how important the art is for our health. And that's because it helps our brain to focus on something else other than what it's always so worried about and concerned about. Kind of creates that gap, that break, so that you can regroup. Not sure if that's gonna, we'll see what comes out with these particular leaves. Clean out my brush. Now we're going to go for a green. And I want to bring that up. through here. This is not one of my normal pieces, is it? For those who've been here before, usually I'm very precise on what I'm creating. But today I decided to just let it flow. I go over the edge there. Grab this green here. And add it up here. What I'm doing is I'm creating a wonderful background. It's going to be for my creative reminder, for my journaling statement. And I'm choosing colors that all work really well together. Where is my dryer? Let's dry this for a second. And we can add some more to it. All right, if you were doing this, you could walk away from it, work on something else, and come back to it. Okay, that lifted. We're going to go ahead and just grab this color. See what other leaves I have. To me, this is all so much like if you were doing, now I don't do yoga, but I do know the benefits of it. And it is a wonderful tool for lowering your stress levels. To me, that's what this is like. You could call it art yoga. What I'm thinking about now is creating, put that down there and it left some spots. It's good to let it dry, but I want some intense dark areas and I want to leave some lighter areas. So I've got a nice contrast going on. Another color, let's see. We've got our green and our blues and our water down this blue quite a bit. Dropping it down. Oh, just lift that little leaf right up there. And I think these are going to be the ones that actually work out to what I'm hoping they'll be because they're laying flat. Whereas these have too much of a curl to them. Add a lot of water up here. The leaf will actually, if it doesn't leave the shape of it, it will leave some, see the texture it's already creating just as it hits the paint. We'll accept that. We're just letting it do its thing, right? All right. I'm going to pull some of that back. All right, we have got a really big creative mess going there. the heat from the heat gun is actually creating with the cedar branches, you can just smell it does have a beautiful fragrance. It smells of Christmas is what it smells like. Okay, I'm going to lift these up now. Some areas are a little wet. Okay, in this experimentation, it is the flat leaves that work the best. So if you're going to attempt this or do this, you want to find leaves that lay flat and let it dry completely. So I'm pulling it off prematurely, but it would leave more beautiful markings around the leaf if I, took the time to just let it dry complete. Wow, that cedar does smell beautiful. Look at that. That's really pretty. Let it dry completely. I am pulling it up too premature and it isn't giving it the full effect that it would. Like even this right here. You can see some of the lines of it. I'm going to just put a little more heat on it. Right, now step back from it a little bit and take a look at it and see what you actually could see in it. If you're looking at the view from a vertical, it's not as good as the horizontal one here, but you can start to see some shapes inside this. So let's take a black pen. That's still just a tiny bit wet, but I'm going to push this up here. See if this is dried out. My pen's had them a while. I'm going to start outlining now what the color created all by itself. And I see it as bushes. I'm going to go out around it so that I don't lose. Some of the wonderful markings. And I'm just following shapes that are, showing up. Add some lines to it. We're just drawing those in. I'm going to use some lines to create like a shadow. I'm going to emphasize this more. Makes a great shape. That does. Mm-hmm. Okay, what do we see over here going on? Mm-hmm. This into a big bush. For the fun of it. Now, all you're doing with this is you're stepping away from perfection and you're just letting yourself play with it. And I didn't care for the white, so much white there, so that's why I brought the color back in. My only goal here, right? My only goal is I'm just creating a fun background Mostly I'm enjoying my watercolors. Just playing with those, letting the colors and creating a nice, just a fun background that I can put one of my creative reminders on it. I know what I want to do. Just, really gotten into this kind of purple mountain thing. Not sure why. Let's just create a purple mountain. I'm working around some of those leaves that were created there for that plant. Okay. Now I know you're like, oh my gosh. All right. Now remember, the purpose of where I'm not here to create a project like this. We do it our Art Sisters. I'm just creating for my fun, just to relax, kind of really for my own health is what I'm doing. It's interesting. My husband went in for his yearly checkup yesterday, and there's a lot of stress in our household. With we have a individual that is mentally ill, so we have a lot of stress that goes on. And his health is beautiful. His health is great, but the blood pressure started going up the minute he started talking about all the different, um, stresses that he feels, the thoughts he feels, and the concerns he feels over certain things with that particular situation. And it was, I'm always telling him it's in our thoughts. We got to watch our thoughts. And that's exactly what the doctor said. Your blood pressure is going up when you're dealing with this and when you're just thinking about the stress. Just thinking about it will raise your blood pressure. And I was like, oh, thank you. I've only been saying that for quite a while. But all that aside, it's very true. So if you wonder, we don't always have to have a beautiful piece of art that would be hanging on your wall. It's just play in the colors. And the actual working of it is very relaxing to your mind, to your body. Yeah, we've created ourselves a mountain in here. Go a little deeper. This pencil is acrylic. Let's see. Let's add a little orange in here. Recently went a couple weeks back up into the Wasatch Mountains, headed up into the Utah area, Idaho area, and it's gorgeous the way those trees are, the color that it brings to the landscape. Okay. This is a dark kind of a green. Almost seems like a gray. Mm-hmm. Are you still with me? Let me give you the process that I teach in Real Positive Change real quick so you can use it. If you find that you're the same as like the rest of us, dealing with a lot of, it doesn't have to be a lot, but dealing with something that's very stressful in your life, then I call it STEAR, STEAR, and each of those letters represent a step, something to the whole model. So S is your situation. Okay. So think about what is the situation, but don't put any kind of emotion to it or, what you think about it. It has to be the facts of it. So for example, when I said, my husband went into the doctor, that's a fact. He went into the doctor. The blood pressure cuff said his blood pressure started going up when he talked about the situation that we deal with one of our sons. That's a fact. That's a situation. Then you go on to the thought of it. So what kind of thought do you attach to it? Look how beautiful those colors are. It doesn't look like anything, but the colors are beautiful. And that's what I'm having fun with. So I hope if nothing else here, you're being encouraged to just let go a little bit and have some fun. Anyway, so the T is thought. What are you thinking about with that situation? What thoughts come to your mind over that situation? Let's just use something, I think, instead of the example I'm using. Let's use this color right here. I'm putting down, it's a apple green, a lime. Some people might call it lime. Some people call it apple. I'm putting this color down on this project. So you're sitting there working on a project and you've got some color. And then you stop, and without you even realizing it, your brain is creating a thought all about that. It's creating all kinds of thoughts around that. So I happen to like this color. I find it invigorating. I love the, the color. Some people may not. So you have your own thoughts about it. I tend to like the color. And from that, the E, S-T-E, steer, is the emotion that comes from that thought. And so that thought is creating an emotion, which for me is joyful because I like the color. Now, I'll be 100% transparent here and honest with you. I'm not really sure where this is going. I'm not used to going on live and just doodling away. So that's exactly what I'm doing. That's the fact. I'm on live and I'm doodling away here in my art journal rather than giving you a complete finished piece. My thought is that's a little stressful for me. That is a little uncomfortable. And it's, gee, I wonder if this is going to turn out or what it's going to be. And from that creates an emotion. And then if that emotion follows that thought, it always follows the thought, it electrifies the thought. Then I tend to maybe shy away from doing something just because I don't know if it'll turn out. I get a little fearful. I'm telling you all this because if you're sitting there creating, you've got thoughts going through your mind as you're working on a project. And we as artists can be very critical. And so if you find yourself criticizing something, then I would suggest, I'm not telling you to, but I'd suggest turn it around, change it. Okay. And it's interesting when I do that, because every piece of art will go through what's considered, and you know this, what's called the ugly stage. It goes through that little period of time where you consider the ugly stage. You're not sure where it's going or what it's doing. But if you just push through that, and I don't even want to use the word push through it, work with it, guide it, support it, just be curious and go, oh, that's kind of interesting that I'm thinking that way, that I'm feeling that way. Just be curious about it. I wonder why. Now, look, I've got all that beautiful color in there, and I want to add some of it up here because it's nice to put the color in several different locations. It helps the eye to travel around and look at the whole composition. Ties things in together. And then after you create that emotion, you've got your result. You've got your actions, and then you've got your result. And your result is maybe you get frustrated with the piece, you stop, you put it away, you think, oh, I've ruined it, it's a failure. Is it really a failure? No. Maybe it's just saying, I want to go in a different direction. I saw someone post the other day, they put, have you ever experienced sadness to the core? Sadness to the core. Now, I'm not talking here if you've got, clinical depression or anything like that. That needs professional and medical help there. But if it's just something where you're going through, and examine your thoughts. Boy, I'm giving you a whole lesson here today, aren't I? on the Real Positive Change instead of. Anyway, examine your thought and see what thought is creating this emotion. Put the emotion up in your situation line and figure out what is creating this. Okay, let's see. What color do I want next? That's what's so fascinating. Kind of leaning towards that brown to work on the mountain. Ooh, this is a beautiful color. All right, let's add a little bit of blue in here and there. Kind of like little valleys in your mountain. What comes down. Isn't that fun? I'm just adding color. And I'm just letting it dictate to me where to put it. I'm not following an picture or an image or anything. I want to put something here. Let's do another, like maybe another little mountain range or something in here. Tell you, if you can, follow that little pattern, the steer pattern, you will actually start creating more joy for yourself, because it's funny how we let our emotions in that rule our life. And they're all coming from just our thoughts. Change that thought. You'll change the emotion you're feeling, which will create a different action. And then you'll get totally different results. And that's my words of wisdom for today, my friend. Didn't know you're going to get all that coming on, did you? Oh, you can read more about that. I've actually just put out a podcast. It's realpositivechange.com on Apple. Realpositivechange.com, and it talks a lot about that steer, and if it's ringing true for you and it's something that you're like, all right, that sounds interesting, I think that could be helpful. I'm dealing with some things right now, and I'm all about sharing those tools and that can help us each take care of ourselves, because all we really have is our health, right? If you can't enjoy your family, if you're struggling with your health, I mean, you can, but it's so much nicer. You can enjoy them when you're feeling good. If the moms are all stressed out and that's who I really love talking to, is moms. I remember going through that. Okay, what do we got going on there, Kathy? I don't know, but I'm having a blast doing it. All right, how's my time coming? Woo! I could keep going with this. But what I am going to do before I completely come to a close, I am loving what's happening. I think I'm going to come back with some of that purple on here. And just for the fun of it, let's add some yellow, because yellow is the complement to purple. Kind of blend it in with that blue and it makes a beautiful green. Use a different finger though, because I've got a lot of color on that. Oh, isn't that fun? Just to see that? Okay, let's go ahead. We're coming to an end here. I can't believe how fast the time has flown. Truly, I cannot believe it. I feel like I just got on. All right. The creative reminder I want for myself today that I've got in my all right, I've got a whole library of them. There's almost over 1,000 statements in there, but I picked. I am holding God's perfect pieces. I've got 2 of them. I've got 2 of them that would be great. 108 for any of my members that are watching this. You can find it in the library. 108. And it's, I will not be anxious, but will pray and trust God with all my concerns. And then 109 is, I am held in God's perfect peace as I keep my mind focused on him. I think they both go really well together. I'm going to add those up. I'm going to put them right over here. I will not anxious, but will pray and trust God with all my concerns. And I always put on here what it is. So creative reminder 108. So if I want to go back and find it again, I can find it. And then I think right here will be fun. We've got a lot. Let's see if it'll show up. I think I'm going to need to use one of my white pens here. And these sweet little pens that I love are almost gone. Jelly rolls. I love these jelly rolls. It's having a little bit of hard time coming across the acrylic. So let's just try. Oh, what I need to do is probably use a marker. Here's a Sharpie. See if it'll. Usually you can get a Sharpie, and I can't even get the Sharpie work. And that's because I've got it right here on this chalk. I am held in God's perfect peace. As I keep my mind focused on him. All right. That worked out to be a great. I'll go back and embellish that, make it a little more attractive, but that becomes my journal page. And most importantly, is the wonderful exercise of just playing with the color. So good for our health, just to let color put down, and then to be able to come back and look at these words, these statements, and recite them over in our minds. All right, my friends, thanks for showing up today. I will see you again. This is Kathy Freeman, KathyFreemanArt.com, RealPositiveChange.com. See you again. Take care.